Welcome to the WOCNCB Certification Inspiration Podcast. My name is Lisa Obradovic, Marketing Manager for WOCNCB. In this episode, we are highlighting our 2023 Employer Recognition Award winner, Northside Hospital of Atlanta, Georgia. This award is given annually to honor an organization that demonstrates exceptional commitment and support of the certification process for wound, ostomy, continence, and foot care. Northside is a large, multi-hospital organization serving a broad area and providing a large spectrum of specialty services. Northside employs 20 WOCNCB certified nurses who are considered subject matter experts and clinical leaders in quality improvement, patient safety programs, education, and more. We will discuss a variety of topics, including the department leadership structure, clinical team collaboration, and Northside support for WOCNCB certification. Today we are joined by 5 members of Northside Hospital: Patricia Tyson, Director of Wound, Ostomy, and Continence, WOC Nursing and GI Services, and 4 WOCNCB certified nurses: Angela Dye, WOC Nurse Manager, Jessica Wood, WOC Nurse Supervisor, Beth Blankeship, and Lytton Reese, who are WOC nurses and preceptors. Also joining us are members of the award committee who reviewed all the award nominations: Alex Aningalan and Sarah Erslev. Alex and Sarah are both WOCNCB certified, and they will be leading the discussion today. Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Let's dive right in. Sarah, your topic was how the WOC program started at Northside, so I will let you get the conversation started.
Thank you, Lisa. My first question is, how did the WOC nursing program start at your organization, and what was the growth process like?
Well, back in the early 1970s when Northside started, we had an interstomal therapist, and at that time, my understanding was the qualification to be in that role was to have an ostomy yourself, and that is how we started at Northside. I came into this department 20 years ago, and at that time, we had 3 WOC nurses, and over the past 20 years, we've grown from 1 hospital campus to 5 hospital campuses. And now we have 20 WOC nurses on our team.
And to add there, this is a proud moment that all 20 of those WOC nurses are CWO certified nurses. So it's been a growing experience. I think as time has gone, we've adapted newer evidence-based practices and better skills. And we look to, the WOCN Society and also for the WOCNCB to set those standards. And I think we have a lot to be proud of in that time.
Definitely seems like it. How does your organization promote WOC nursing, and how does it recruit nurses into this specialty?
So our role is really highlighted through a lot of collaboration with interdepartmental leadership groups. So we have a lot of support from our director, from our quality department, and we as a department have worked fairly tirelessly with other units to help provide walk in the shoes experience for new nurses and really highlight our role within the hospital and within the organization. And so we really try to have a lot of exposure with especially new staff and established staff, but to really provide in-services and education and just be present on the units.
Northside also does a lot to celebrate us as WOC certified nurses. We have a WOC Nursing Week, and we are highlighted in the celebration of Certified Nurses Week at the hospital. So we get recognition and are able to kind of show staff what it is to be a certified nurse.
We are also a large precepting site in the Atlanta area. For a number of WOC nursing education programs. We have 5 certified preceptors out of the 7 WOC nurses in Atlanta. And Northside also provides preceptor pay, tuition reimbursement, certification reimbursement, and all of our staff on our team is required to be certified at 100%. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So on that same note, what struggles have you faced with those partnerships with the units and the staff? What's the dynamic like between you guys and the unit staff and the unit leaders? And then, was that impacted by staffing or cuts to education? I know we've been dealing with cuts here. And so some of that like shadowing and stuff like that has gone goodbye for now. So how are you fostering those relationships and what struggles have you faced?
So I would say that really the culture at Northside sets the tone for all interactions that we have. So everybody, all the teams, all the units, all the service lines, we really do feel like we're part of one team with a common goal for prioritizing patients and prioritizing teamwork and supporting staff regardless of what unit or department you belong to. So I would say that for the vast majority, unit leadership really values our role and what services we can provide to their staff and their patients. So we really I feel as the manager of the WOC department that we really don't have a lot of struggles per se.
I would completely agree with you, Angela. I think all of our interdisciplinary teams really see us as experts in the wound care field. They seek out our support, so that makes it a lot easier for us to work with the staff to kind of continue education and continue to support them. Either way, people are having to take care of wounds or ostomies, so we are there as a helping hand. So usually that helps with the interactions with staff.
The other thing too, I would add here, we have a lot of, I think, very solid relationships. Angela, as you said, kind of the culture of Northside, the expectations of teamwork and collaboration are there on the nursing units. But I would also add ancillary departments, our other care partners, such as respiratory therapy. We've done a lot of collaborative work with that team, and we have done a lot of collaborative work with PT and OT. So for example, at our last skills fair, which we hold on a regular basis at all 5 campuses, respiratory therapy actually had their own table and their own station. And the staff on the nursing units got to interact not only with the WOC team, so not only with our woundostomy team, but with physical therapy and with respiratory therapy as well. So they had tables and they had the ability for the staff to come ask them specific questions. And we felt like that partnership was important because, without it, I think, there would be a lot of disconnect in the patient care. So when you're talking about collaboration in teams, we're talking about nursing, but also other departments such as respiratory and physical therapy. And that's come a long way, I'd say, in the last year or two, in building those relationships where we feel like they're partners with us now in the care of patients.
That was a perfect segue into my final question for you guys, which was what has your role been in fostering and strengthening those relationships with those other departments?
So as the supervisor of the department, a lot of my job is first and foremost taking care of my team, but Secondly, it is fostering those relationships and building those relationships. And so I have personally spent a lot of hours talking with, meeting with, working with unit leadership, not only their managers, but their clinical development specialists, their clinicians, bedside staff, just having face time on those units and speaking with staff. We do a lot of what we like to call drive-by or bedside education. And so, really trying to incorporate the bedside staff into what we're doing with their patients. So asking them to come into the patient's room with us when we go and see their patient, letting them know exactly what we're doing, and then also giving them the reason why. It's helping to really kind of foster, going back to that collaboration piece, it's helping to foster that collaboration between all of the units and our team. And just as Patricia was saying, I spend a lot of time with respiratory therapy. I have created protocols that we are now using in our ICUs to help prevent hospital-acquired pressure injuries. I've also spent a lot of time with our physical therapy and our occupational therapy departments. I recently completed an in-service with their team about how to help prevent hospital-acquired pressure injuries and what their role is with that as well, because we're all one big team. And so we really kind of have to come at it as one big team to make sure that all of our patients are getting the best care possible.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, I guess it's my turn to ask questions. Well, first, congratulations again. You are the 2023 WOCNCB Employer Recognition of the Year awardee. That is really a huge honor and something that's really worth to be proud of. My first question would be, how did you come about writing your nomination? Who helped you writing your nomination paper? And what advice can you give to other organizations for next year and the coming years as to tips on how to write a winning nomination for the Employer of the Year Award? Any one of you can answer the question? And
yeah, I can. So the first step would be read the application, because if the answers seem easy, you know that you should submit the nomination. Reading through the checklist and the application helped me so much to collect and organize the winning answers. I navigate HR and job descriptions and performance standards just based on my job. But I would say to somebody, if you're not used to working in those areas, reach out to your leadership or reach out to HR to get that information. But, for Northside, the application, we had so much information to put into it. I was so proud. And I don't think you have to fulfill every single criteria that's listed on the checklist, but for us, it was very easy to complete that. But if there are areas that you would like to grow in your organization, I think using the checklist would also be good for somebody to benchmark and see what areas you could grow, and again reach out to your leadership to do that.
Great, thank you for that answer. Sarah, Holly, and I are actually part of the awards committee that reviewed your application. And I must say it was really an impressive nomination application. A follow-up question, and one thing that really stood out when we were reviewing your application is that your team is managed by a WOCNCB Certified Nurse Manager, a WOCNCB Certified Nurse Supervisor, and also under the leadership of the Director of Nursing. This is something that is rare in the WOCNCB Certified Nursing world. What can you say is the big impact of having a WOCNCB certified nurse manage the WOCNCB certified nursing team. Not only on the organization, but also on patient care outcomes, team dynamics, and other metrics that surround your work.
So I've worked in other settings in organizations where the department is structured in a much different way. And so I recognized the uniqueness and the potential for great things to have a structure set up like this. So being the manager, Jessica here with me as the supervisor, we have resources for our staff. So it's challenging when you're an expert in your field. We're subject matter experts for wound, ostomy, and continence issues. But when you don't have an advocate at your organization, a lot of things are affected. Patient care is affected. Morale can be affected. So when I took this role, my main drive was that I felt so passionate about being an advocate for our profession. With time, and it's just been a handful of years, but that has grown. I mean, me personally, being the manager, I am the subject matter expert at the table. Being in a manager role, I'm sitting at the table with other leaders. And so I'm able to offer insight at an organizational level. So I feel like that is so valuable because we are valued. What we bring is valued. The values that we have for our patients is valued by the organization. And then something that's really nice is I report directly to my nursing director, who reports directly to the CNO. And so we have a direct line of communication to advocate for our patients, for our staff members, and vice versa. The CNO has a direct line to us, and we can all be on the same page. It's just a really unique and valuable way. I'm very proud to be able to be there for staff and to help them know that they're supported, but also be there for Northside at a organizational level. So,
and I would say, as someone who reaps the benefits of having this organizational structure, it really does make a difference in my day-to-day work routine. I know that if I have a problem, I have a chain of command that actually understands what I need and the resources that they have to help me.
If I may just comment on a personal level, I am amazed at that reporting structure. I think it is really best practice. It's not something that all of us fellow WOCNCB certified nurses can have. So I think your team is really a benchmark and a best practice that needs to be highlighted. Probably not only within our WOCNCB world, but probably outside the larger nursing organization as well. And that segues me to my next question. How do you think can senior leaders, directors, and other administrators and employers in general can best advocate and support their WOCNCB certified nursing team?
I would say listen to what we do and offer, and don't make assumptions about our role.
I would also add to that it is very important for not only people at the director level, but also in the C-suite to really take the time to understand what our role is, how we function, and to give us support in order to best do our jobs and to best support our patients.
I agree, Jessica. I would say that one of the things that Northside does well is listen to and understand what that nurse is asking, and like you say, relying on the expertise of the staff and this team, and knowing that when you are advocating for your patients or you're advocating for something that you need, then we're listening and we're acting on that. I would also say that one of the strengths that we have here is that ability to connect. Matter of fact, connect with leadership, connect with upper administration, up to our chief nursing officer. And Angela has a regularly scheduled meeting that we have with all 5 of our chief nursing officers across our system, and reports kind of activities and projects that we're working on in the wound care and the ostomy care area. So she has a direct line. Matter of fact, just last week, the meeting occurred, and they asked questions and were interested and really, I think, understand the value of this team. And I think a lot of that value comes from their expertise, which comes along with the certification.
And part of our training as WOC nurses, part of our training is learning how to market our knowledge, and how to demonstrate our skill set, and how to show our professional worth and our organizational impact. So I don't know if all specialties, healthcare specialties, have that as part of their training, but that stood out to me, and I think it's something that we do well. And Lytton, you said something before too, is allow us to work autonomously. And let us build alliances with other areas that really strengthen patient care and workflows of all the teams. We allow us to do what we know how to do.
What you do best.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I think sometimes organizations use, or they think that our role is to be dressing changers. And that's like 1% of our job. Mm-hmm. So if the CNO and the leadership structure know that, I think they'll recognize how much we can bring.
And I know they do here. And I think that is a key to our success.
Those were really inspiring words that I just heard from both sides. And if I may just highlight, and it really struck me well, is that when your senior leaders and your directors allow you what you do best, and actually not only allow, but actually recognize that you are more than just nurses who do dressing changes, I think it is that really would open a plethora of positive impacts, not only on your team, but actually on the patient care and patient care outcomes in general, organization-wide. That's really inspiring to me. That actually answered my next question on how you advocate, because I see that you were really successful in advocating for your role. You actually have an open line of communication with your senior leaders and your directors and the C-suite. And that is really, really an amazing pathway towards achieving good outcomes. All right, so my next question would be to Beth and Lytton, or anyone from the team. What inspired you to pursue WOCNCB certification?
Well, for me, I started my nursing career 40 years ago. And my first job was on a GI and GU surgical floor where we did a lot of ostomies. And I really admired our WOC nurse at the time and had an interest in it, but I did not have the did not have my bachelor's degree at the time. So it really was not an option. And then 20 years later, after I had done a lot of different things, an opportunity came up for a position here at Northside. And when I saw that job listing, I was like, that is what I want to do. And at that time, I had gotten my bachelor's degree, and I was determined that that was a job that I was going to get. And it is a requirement here at Northside that you are WOC certified. And so that is what kind of pushed me in that direction. And I must say that the education that I got for my WOCN or WOC nursing education was really probably the best educational experience that I ever had in all of my nursing career.
For me, I was a cardiac nurse. I haven't been doing it for quite as long as Beth, but for a little bit at least. And I wanted more concrete nursing skills. I feel like I've been a nurse for 8 years, and there's a team for everything now in nursing, and I felt like I was really great at passing meds, but I would like to be able to do something else. So I always thought wounds and ostomies were interesting, but I, as a cardiac nurse, knew nothing about it. So the only way I could see my way into this field was to get certified, and it was the best decision I've ever made.
Those were great answers. Thank you. And thank you for inspiring current and future certificates with those answers. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to segue to my last question, and any one of you can answer. If you could describe your WOCNCB team of nurses in one word, what would that be?
Dedicated.
I mean, one word is very difficult.
Come on, you gotta do one word. One word.
I think that we are very capable. I think that we get presented with some of the most difficult cases in the hospital, if I'm being biased, and we have to come up with a solution, and people know that we are capable of doing that.
I think for me, it would probably be trusted. I think that we are, as a group, trusted to get the job done, to advocate for our patients, to have difficult conversations with the physicians if we have been a part of that patient's care and they come in and do something that maybe was not in our plan, to have those difficult conversations and really try to advocate for our role and the reason why we're doing something to take care of this patient. I know Beth has been at Northside for 20 plus years, and I have been here for nearly 12 years. And so, over that course of time, we have really built trust with those partnerships with the surgeons, with our internal medicine physicians, all of the other specialties. And so they know that they can pick up a phone, call us, ask questions, and we are going to give them feedback. And they openly want to know our opinions about how to best take care of patients. And there have even been some that have told me, I don't know what the best wound treatment is, and I'm relying on you to tell me that. And so we have really worked very hard within our organization to build that level of trust.
I know my last question was hard because to encapsulate all you did in one word is really tough. But let me tell you something, what you did there is much tougher than just one word. Mm-hmm. So great job, and for advocating for the WOCNCB Certified Nurse role.
Thank you everyone for participating. This has been an inspiring conversation. Congratulations again to Northside Hospital WOCNCB's 2023 Employer Recognition Award winner. Northside is a true WOCNCB certification inspiration. To learn more about the Employer Recognition Award, visit our website at WOCNCB.org and select the Get Involved tab. Thank you for listening. WOCNCB sets the standard for wound, ostomy, continence, and foot care nursing certification by validating nurses' knowledge to provide safe, patient-centered care. Until next time, visit WOCNCB.org to learn more or contact WOCNCB at info@WOCNCB.org. And remember to follow us on social media. This podcast is produced by WOCNCB. Take care.